Folks, welcome to the UB Bulls halftime show brought to you by Bullet Point 716, sponsored by Picasso's Pizza. The Bulls lead Northern Illinois at halftime. I'm Maniac, joined by Ty B and Cons. But Ty B and Cons, I think that lead is by not as much as UB fans and the team alike would like.
No, you can't have this going into the second half. This team should be rolling out in front right now. You're giving Northern Illinois a bunch of short fields, which is going to be very tough for the defense to stop. They're not being put in the best situations, dealing with the injuries they're dealing with. We didn't hear much about this coming out the last week, but no Taylor Riggins. Your secondary's pretty banged up right now. I believe no Pre-Washington, no Ali Abba, so that's going to be very tough for them to overcome. They have to be very smart, how they're playing defensively. If you're able to pin them back in the zone and make them have to beat you, you know what they're going to have to try to do to make some plays. It's much easier to defend, but right now they're able to kind of pick and choose what they want to do because they're having the short field, and we're going to have to turn that around, Maniac.
Most definitely. And Cons, you said it best in the group chat coming in. Jarpad is going for touchdowns. You had Van Sheesh hit on a deep shot, well, kind of a deep shot, 20-yard fade into the end zone earlier. But why can't these UB and Buffalo teams, for the bigger picture, just make it easy? Instead, we're sitting here at halftime 21-16 and kind of worried about this upstart, young UNI team.
Yeah, I sometimes question if I actually know football because I look at a guy like Jared Patterson. School rushing record for touchdowns with his 35th, so he has two today, um, two this evening, and it's like, why not just hand the ball off to him? Well, I don't know. They just never. No Buffalo team makes it easy. We can sit on every pregame that we want, every preview, and say, "Oh, this game's in the bag," and then they show up. Whether it's the Bills, whether it's the UB Bulls, they show up on Sunday, they show up on Wednesday night, they show up on Saturday afternoon, and it's like, guys, why can't you just go up 21-0 like we asked in the first and second quarter so we don't have to have these conversations? But with all that being said, just feed Jarpat, please. Just feed him. Give him the ball the rest of the game. I want 5, 6 touchdowns out of him today. I'm being a little greedy, but that's what I want.
Hey, I think all UB fans want to be greedy when it comes to getting the ball to Jarpad. It seemed to be effective in the first half, obviously. So Ty B, we saw last year, they didn't make a secret about it. They just continued to give the ball to Jarpad. Up
Yeah.
5, wanting to kind of, I'd say you want to right in the ship after the way that second quarter went. Should we expect more of the same from Lance in this offense?
Yeah, 131 of 144 total rushing yards for this UB offense. Jared Patterson is the key cog in this machine. If he's going, you can start to do the rest. That opens up that pass for Van Treese to get there with that one-on-one to Antonio Nunn, because you see them bringing in extra linebackers trying to stop the run. That only works for so long against Jared Patterson. He's going to break one or two no matter what. It doesn't really matter what you're doing. So if he's in that zone doing what he's doing like he is right now, you got to continue to feed him, and that should open up more stuff. I don't like them running on second and long. Get those runs in early on downs. Get maybe even pass on first, so you can get Jarrett Patterson into some better situations in second and 5, or second and 3. Shorter yardage situations should help him out a little bit more. You don't want to have those holding penalties on the offensive line that sent him back a little bit as well. You want to minimize that type of stuff. We don't see a ton out of that out of landslide pulled coach teams, so continue to minimize those mistakes, and you should be able to get over this team here. It's going to be, it's going to be tough sledding for that defense if they're going to be put in precarious situations. Let's figure that out a little bit. If the offense can continue to drive, though, and put points on the board, we should be in a good spot here, Maniac.
No doubt about it. And Cons, if you had to focus on one second half adjustment, obviously we want to see the ball given to Jarpat. We want to see the defense make plays. Good news is it looked like the Kuntz injury was much ado about nothing. He was down for a bit, but it was the finger. It looked like he was back on the sideline, ready to give Northern Illinois the finger. But Cons, what would you do in the second half if you were Coach Lance Leipold in the UB Bulls?
Well, I think for Lance too, he probably wants to see what he's got in his quarterback, and this is I talked to Ty B about this yesterday. This is the perfect game to do this. You're heavily favored against NIU. You've got a chance to kind of see what you got. You may even see in the second half, maybe Matt Myers comes in and runs a package. We don't know. We don't know. We don't know. I'm just saying there was no training camp. They didn't have a
True.
chance to tune up. No, I'm not trying to start a quarterback controversy here. I'm just saying that with Van Treese, I'm seeing a lot of flat-footed throws, not a lot behind that throw. He throws into double coverage, but it seemed like that ball took forever to get in that area. So coming out in the second half, I want Jarpat to run the ball, but I also want to see a couple throws from Van Treese just to see what we have. I want to see what UB can do in the passing game. And also defensively, James Patterson, did you see him close in on that running back?
Oh, hell
My
yeah.
God.
Jam Pat lowering the boom.
God. Oh my God. He is a man child. I don't know what he ate today, but that is the fastest I've seen a linebacker close in on a running back since the late great Khalil Mack, Chicago Bear defensive end and edge rusher. And let me tell you, I am fired up for James Patterson. I am fired up for him. I really am. What a hell of a linebacker.
You got me fired up. I like the idea, Ty B, that you can just call someone the late great, like if they graduated from UB. Like obviously Khalil Mack's living his best life and everything. Speaking of living his best life, UB came into the season MAC conference favorite, so I figure with all the action, might as well take a little break from the UB game and look around the action. So you have the next top favorite according to Buffalo Creek Casino. These are the odds that we're going off of. Ohio at plus 350, currently trailing Central Michigan, 2013. So Central Michigan's no slouch. They were the 7th favorite in the MAC conference. So not necessarily a huge upset there, but
there's a power outage right now in Mount Pleasant.
Yeah.
I saw it. So wow, very. We'll have to see if they can get that scene back up and running. But then you have Miami of Ohio, last year's champions, coming in at plus 600 to win it. They trail Ball State at halftime. Again, Ball State's no slouch either. They're only plus 900 to win the conference. So a couple of favorites trailing at halftime early in the game. But then you have some of the other favorites, Western Michigan. They're up by 38. And a couple of, so obviously a lot of action. But with that said, when you always, Ty B and Cons, either you can take this. When you fear that game in Ohio, it would be nice to get to 1-0 with them at 0-1.
Oh, absolutely. I think what you're worrying about right now is this baby Rourke. I know Mike Bunt's all over it right now. He's having a nice little standout performance right now, even though they're behind 20-13. He's got 129 yards, 2 touchdowns, still in the first half. Richardson looks phenomenal for Central Michigan. He's a smaller quarterback. I don't believe he's over 6 feet tall, but he's slinging that rock all over the place. Big passing touchdown over the top to Pimpleton. Great throw and catch. Pimpleton's putting up some good numbers today for them. I think Central can really get that game. I think they can get it done. Kent State could have a nice little comeback there. Just trailing by 3 with 9:26 left. Can Dustin Crum get it done? The returning quarterback, dual threat guy. We've seen him run one in earlier. I think he has a passing touchdown as well. So we'll see what they can do if they can get one done. But we would love to see those MAC East teams falling this week in the crossovers.
We got Mike Bunt chiming in the chat. He goes, my boy Curtis Rourke. He's letting it be known. Hey, Mike B, he's a buy from Bunt, but he's also an Ohio guy, so be careful there.
Okay.
Curtis with okay, and also if you're one of the 40 plus people out there, chime in what you would do for the second half adjustment if you were Lance Leipold, or maybe if you're Jarpat, you just demand they hand the ball. Excuse me, getting the frog in my throat.
You have to demand it. This is your time. You're on ESPN2 right now. You got to be in Lance's ear. You got to be in Zabrowski's ear. You got to be in anyone's ear you can. Feed me. Feed me. I am hungry right now. This is your time to put on a great standout performance early on. You only have 6 games to do it. You're going to be on ESPN next week. If you have a huge performance here, every single person will be tuned in next week to watch what Jarrett Patterson can do. Can he put up 2, maybe 3 more touchdowns to get to Tyree Jackson's call? He said 5 touchdowns today on Instagram in the comments, so I'm going with him. I think Jarrett Patterson gets to 5 touchdowns. I think UB is going to pull this one out.
Maniac, I believe there was a coach on the Buffalo Bills staff a while back that said to CJ Spiller, I'm going to feed him the rock until he throws up. Lance Leipold, feed Jarpat the football until he throws up on the field. I agree with you, Ty B. I want 5. We want 5. We want 5.
My favorite, I'm fired up. My favorite stat right now, if you take away the 56-yard touchdown, Jarpat is still averaging over 5 yards per carry, which just shows is just an absurd.
Laughable.
It is quite laughable, but hey, no laughing matter here. It's all about getting to 1-0, and it's all about all roads leading to Detroit, folks, because that is what Lance Leipold and UB are trying to accomplish this season. Any thoughts before we sign off? It looks like about 8 minutes till half comes back. Any thoughts, gents? Horns up before we go.
No, horns up. Let's see Van Treese make a big play here. I want him to come out here, command that offense, obviously feed Jared Patterson, but when the time comes, maybe a big third down, maybe a play over the top, Van Treese just has to come in clutch. That's all we need. He has to play his role. I think he can do it. 7 of 12 passing, his completion percentage not bad, but when he's missed those throws, he just seems sort of off and a little bit behind. You don't want those passes to be intercepted. And that pass that was intercepted, the pump fake into the throw left a little bit too much time for the defender to get there, and it threw him off. Be smart, make those plays right away. Believe in that arm, KVT.
Yeah, KVT, if you're listening out there, which you're not, but when you will finally watch this video, move those feet, throw that rock, find those lanes, calm down, do your thing. You're a game manager, but let's find those passing lanes. I want to see a complete offense in the second half. I want to see them run the ball. I want to see them throw the ball. I want to see them put this together and really see what we have going on, because this team is going to, I hopefully, plow through the MAC this year on the way to Detroit.
And what would you say they are, Cons?
What?
Unbelievable!
Go, Bulls, go. This has been the Bulls Halftime Show, brought to you by Picasso's Pizza, PicassoPizza.net. Get your game day order in for the Bills-Seahawks game, but you know what it's all about here, folks. Let's win this second half. Let's go 1-0. All roads in Amherst lead to Detroit. Horns up. Let's go, Bulls. Second half.